Let's welcome on stage Apol, Dionglay.
I'm here to talk about online gaming. I'm here to talk about responsible gaming because I understand there are teachers here. How many teachers are here? Can I see hands, please? How many are students here? Oh, mas madami. How many will be priests here soon? Yan, ipagdasal nyo kami. Okay? So, can you press please? Okay. So this afternoon, as I said, I will be talking about responsible gaming and opportunities in online gaming industry. Okay? So, before I start, can I see hands please? How many of you have Facebook? Wow, everybody. How many of you play games? Any game? Wow, it's almost everyone. How many of you play online games? I like you. I love you. How many of you play level up games? I love you. Okay, you know, dahil sa pagmamahal ko sa inyo, can I have the bag, please? I brought prizes. Kaya lang, hindi po ito cellphone. This is courtesy of Smart. What I have is a bag for tablets. Okay, this is very nice. Waterproof siya. And I understand there's a question and answer later, no? But uunahan ko na kayo. Bago nyo ako matanong, tatanungin ko kayo. The only difference is you're gonna get a prize. Okay? Is that a fair deal? Okay, so I would like all of you to listen to what I'm going to say. Otherwise, you're gonna miss the boat. So we're gonna have a test after this. Is that a fair deal? Yes. Is that a fair deal? Gutom pa yata kayo. Okay, can we have the next slide, please? These are the games that we have. First, we have PC games. This is what you will see outside. So those are our PC games. Now, next slide please, because the next slide shows our mobile games. So yan po mga klase ng laro na meron ang PlayPark. Next slide please. Now, hindi makita yung nasa taas. Anyway, let me read to you what is written on top. How do you see online games? Yung mga teachers dito, how do you see online games? Sino nga po uli yung mga teachers? Alam ko, pinagbabawal to because students, they cut classes, right? Normally, they cut classes, right? Okay, so that's why I would like to talk about responsible gaming. Can you press, please? Okay, so what do you see? Next slide, please. Do you see the beautiful girl? Next slide, please. Do you see the old woman? Next slide, please. Do you see the old man? Okay, so sino kayo dyan? How do you see online games? Next slide, please. So what do you see? Next. You see people playing. Nasa internet cafe. Okay? Is it good or is it bad? It depends on who is looking. Next slide, please. Here's another one. Next slide. What do you see? What do you see? A what? Do you see an angel? So is online gaming an angel? Is it something sent that is good? Next slide, please. So what do teachers or parents see? Next. Is gaming bad? Is that a conclusion? Next slide, please. Or is it? Is it really? Next. Next. It is bad if you play too much and neglect your studies or work. It is very bad. It is bad if you spend more time or more money than you can afford. That is very bad. In anything that we do, if we spend more than what we can afford, it will always be bad. Next. When you become addicted to it, if you like something to eat, at gustong-gusto mo yun, at kain ka ng kain, it's also bad. So anything that you're addicted to is bad. When you have no more time for family and friends, then it becomes very bad. When it controls you, and you're not controlling it, then it's very bad. So what is responsible gaming? Responsible gaming is exactly the opposite of this. Next slide, please. Now, there was a study that was published in the newspaper sometime last year. It was published in Philippine Star. And this article talks about online gaming. And it specifically says na ang online gaming daw ay nakakapagdala sa mga estudyante na huwag mag-drugs, huwag mag-alcohol, at huwag mag-sigarilyo. Okay? Now, that is based on a study. Now, hindi lang makita dun sa itaas, but it's done by PhilCare Wellness Index. Okay, so that's the group that did the study. So there was a study that was done in the past. Okay? Now, the other thing is, online gaming is a very cheap form of entertainment. Dati, ang pinakamurang entertainment, alam nyo ba kung ano? Does anybody here know what was the cheapest form of entertainment in the past? Ano? Comics. Yes? Meron pa? Ha? Ano, no?
Gagamba.
Gagamba daw, sabi ni sister. Sister! Hindi ko alam, naglalaro ka ng gagamba. Ha? Mamaya, laban tayo. Now, in the past, one of the cheapest source of entertainment are movies. Okay? Alam nyo ba dati kung paano ang mga movies? Dalawang movies, you pay one time, simula umaga hanggang gabi, pwede kang matulog sa loob ng sinihan. Naka-aircon ka. Okay? That was how it was in the past. And it was very cheap. Okay? Now, this is another cheap form of entertainment. Now, what else do we get out of playing? It enriches our minds. It teaches us how to strategize. It teaches us how to think logically. Okay? There was another study that was done where yung mga tao na naglalaro ng online games, or any game for that matter, kinumpare doon sa hindi. And the result was, those people who play games did much better than those who do not. Okay? So because they think quick, they think fast, they think logically. Next slide, please. Now, at this point, I would like to bring you to a very quick trip to memory lane. Paano ba nagsimula itong online gaming? Paano ba ito nagsimula? Kasi, now, let me relate kanina. Bakit pinakita ko yung lightsaber? Now, at this point, I'm gonna give one bag. Teka. Yung naka-plastic. I will give this to the person who can tell me kailan lumabas yung unang-unang Star Wars movie. Anybody here? Yes. Anong year? 1977. Very good. Ang galing mo. Kailan ka pinanganak? 1993. Sino nagturo niyan sa'yo? Nakita mo sa internet, ano? Okay, so mahilig daw siya sa lumang palabas. Ano nga pangalan mo? Louie. So congratulations, Louie. Let's give him a big hand. So, can we play, please? Sinong nakakaalala niyan? Yan. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. So that is how everything started, okay? So nakikita nyo, marami siguro sa inyo dito hindi na naabutan yung mga gadgets na yan. Pero sa mga kagaya kong, anong tawag nga sa mga kagaya ko ngayon? Ano yun? Thunders. Sa mga kagaya kong thunders. Okay? Kasi akala ko book. Okay? Yun ang akala nyo. Ha? But sa kagaya naming thunders, yan, alam namin yan. Ha? Yung mga kagaya niyong bata, hindi nyo alam yan. Okay? So can we go back to the PowerPoint presentation, please? Now, I will give another bag. Can you please play the audio? Who remembers this song? Sige nga, kantahin mo nga, Father.
Maglalaro kaya ang pangalan nagtatago sa alias na Malita. Sa dating tagpuan sa bayan ng Pontera, sa tabi ng tindahan ng Magic.
Father, alam ko may mga nauna kamay sa kanya, pero you will get your chance later. Can we pause, please?
Minsan nga ay
Okay. So what's the title of this song? Chiksilong. Do you know the game? Ano? Ragnarok. Now, it was Level Up that published Ragnarok in the Philippines. And Ragnarok was the very, very first online game here. And it blew the market away. In fact, my son was in grade school during that time. And he will wake up very early in the morning just to sneak into the computer room. And then, sasaksak niya yung telephone sa computer. And then it will do like this. Alam niyo ba yun? Ha? That is dial-up. Naabutan niyo? Hindi lang pala ako thunder dito. Pati pala kayo. But anyway, so that was written because of Ragnarok. Now, at this point, let me bring you through the online gaming market in the Philippines. So, next slide please. Pasensya na kayo, for some reason, malabo. But in the Philippines, what you see in the bottom number is there are more than 7.7 million Filipino gamers, PC online gamers in the Philippines. Okay? So, can anybody tell me what's the population of the Philippines? Saan nyo nakuha? Saan nyo nakuha? Doon! Madaya kayo. Okay? What's the other number there? There are 37.6 million internet users in the Philippines. How many are Facebook users? All of you are part of the 34 million Filipinos who access Facebook every day. I am very sure most of you have your Facebook open by now. Most of you. Okay? Now, do you know how many cell phones are there in the Philippines? I will give another bag. Okay? There are 102 Filipinos, 102.9 million Filipinos in the Philippines. Can you tell me how many cell phones are there in the Philippines? Ha? Ilan? Ilan? Okay, let me give you the number. The latest estimate was there are 111 million cell phones in the Philippines. So yung iba sa inyo dito have 2 or more cell phones. Okay? A population of 102.9, 111 million cell phones in the Philippines. Next slide, please. Why did I talk about cell phones? Because that's precisely the next slide. So in the Philippines, Filipinos spend 6 hours and 12 minutes surfing the internet. Of the 6 hours, excuse me, of the 6 hours, pasensya na kayo, balikot ako pag hindi kayo makatulog. Of the 6 hours, 2 hours are spent surfing the internet using cell phones. Okay? In terms of social media, 35% of the population are surfing social media every day. Okay. So, mamaya, if you're not taking down notes, I'm gonna ask you questions about this. Next slide, please. Now, at this point, let me talk to you about opportunities that are available to students or anybody in the online gaming industry. So there are 5. There are 5 areas where people can get into. Now, before I go there, let me just share with you that in Korea, online gaming is supported heavily by the government. Okay? So, binibigyan ng gobyerno ng Korea yung mga kumpanya ng suporta. Even the teams, they support the teams. Okay? So there are 5 opportunities. 1, game development. 2, game management and marketing. 3, infrastructure. 4, programming. And 5, tech support. So let me discuss one by one. Next slide, please. So can you please click inside? These are the games na pwedeng i-develop ng mga Pilipino. Now, fortunately, there is a group that's being formed right now. It's called GDAP. It's Game Development Association of the Philippines. It's very much infant at this point. But we're getting a little bit of government support. So, as soon as this group gets more support from the government, then I'm very sure that the directors will be expanding to other areas in the Philippines. There are already universities in Manila that are offering game development courses. Now, meron na din ba dito sa Laguna na school na nag-o-offer ng game development course? Meron na? Wala pa? Meron na. Saan? Saan? Sa Bidil. Dito sa Cavite. Sa Cavite? Sa Taft. Hindi, ba't sa probinsya? Meron na ba? Sa St. Benilde, yes. In fact, St. Benilde is one of the very first schools na nag-offer ng game development. In fact, St. Benilde was the very first school to join the GDAP group. Okay? Next slide, please. The next opportunity for students or anyone here is marketing. Okay? Can you please press, please? Next. Okay. So what you see in front are the kind of activities that we do for the games. Next, please. What I'm about to show you is some form of marketing that can be done. And this is in partnership with sponsors. Okay? Can you please roll the video?
Try selling to Totoy. At 5:59 in the morning, his sweet dreams of girls, gadgets, and glory are always cut short. Totoy is a typical 18-year-old. He is scrawny, silent, and has a short attention span. He eats his breakfast of rice and eggs with eyes glued to the TV. He watches along with the 99.64% of Metro Manila. This is the start of his daily quota of 3.4 hours of TV watching. His mom gives him his 100 peso allowance, from which he takes 7 pesos for jeepney fare. While on the road, he is one of the 45% of the traveling population who prefer to look at the outdoor ads instead of other cars. Sometimes, he is also one of 27% listening to the radio. Totoy spends 2.24 hours a day listening to one of the 583 FM stations. He hears jingles and sometimes the rhythm catches on to him. His mom's reward system is so good. Totoy always strives to get good grades, because that means allowance for his basketball mags. Finally, at 5:24, after school, Totoy signs in the iCafe for his ultimate reward, online gaming. Totoy uses the internet for an average of 2 hours on weekdays. He logs in his favorite game. And like his virtual alter ego, he feels the need to level up. Finally, something registers in him. He actually buys your product. And the same thought is spreading like wildfire inside the 5,000 plus iCafes all over the country. The right stimulus to a huge captive market in the right environment. The possibilities are mind-blowing. So why not? Level up your campaign. Play advergaming.
So, do you like it? This is one of the things that a product manager can do. Now, the next opportunity is on infrastructure. Now, as you can see, ito yung mga racks, mga servers. Ito yung makikita sa back end. Ito yung backbone ng lahat ng information ng mga games. In fact, not just games, even banks, ginagamit yan. Lahat ng mga kumpanya sa Pilipinas are using something like this. These are all housed in what we call IDC. So, yun yung mga warehouse na mga information. Dati, ang warehouse, ang nilalagay, kahon-kahon ng mga files. Ngayon, ang mga warehouse, ganyan. Lalagyan ng information. Next slide, please. The next one is programming. Now, hindi lang level up. There are a lot of companies na mayroong websites. Now, some websites are interactive. So, yung mga IT students, they can do programs that allows users to be interactive with the program. Next slide, please. And the last opportunity is tech support. Now, tech support, kumbaga, ito yung customer service. These are the people who take care of all the tickets. Ito yung mga humaharap doon sa mga galit na players. Okay? Now, maniwala kayo sa akin, mas madaming galit na players kaysa natutuwang players. Ewan ko ba, kahit saan yata sa mundo, pag masaya, hindi nang sasalita. Pag galit, sumisigaw agad. Okay? So yan, ganyan klase ng mga gamers. Next slide, please. And lastly, I would like to share with you a game that we recently launched. So just to recap, next slide please. There are 5 opportunities available to everyone in the online gaming industry, namely game development, game management, infrastructure, programming, and tech support.